You won't have any dinner waiting for you when you get home. Well, of course not. I live alone. Really? You're not lying? I'm not lying. You're the only one I love, Holly. Anne, did you hear that? No way. My name is Holly, and I'm currently 32 years old. I'm a housewife working at a coffee shop. The place where I work is a bit quirky and popular. It's quite lucky to be able to work here since job openings are rare. I'm living alone now, but I'm not single. I live by myself because my husband is on a work assignment. My husband, Trey, is 35 years old and works for a relatively large construction company. Our income is stable and we don't have any financial worries as long as we don't live extravagantly. I think my husband works for a great company. The only downside is that he often goes on business trips. He has been traveling a lot since we started dating. The length of his trips depends on the construction schedule, sometimes as short as a month or as long as several months. But these periods apart have only made our relationship stronger. Half a year ago, we finally tied the knot. One day, Trey came home with a gloomy face. I'm home. Hi, honey. You must be tired after a long day. I'll prepare dinner right away. Thanks, babe. He seems exhausted. His demeanor is definitely off. I finish preparing dinner and pour him a beer. You seem really tired today. Don't push yourself too hard, okay? Hey, Actually, I have to go on a business trip starting next week. Again? Well, you've always had a lot of business trips even when we were dating. What can we do though, right? It's not your fault. How long will this one be? It turns out this one will last about a year. That long? That's more like a relocation. Yeah, it's a massive project and it's long term. I'd like you to come with me, but I know you can't since you have your job and everything. True, but if it's that long, maybe I should quit. What are you talking about? Huh? I don't want you to quit a job you love so much. Besides, the apartment I'll be living in is for singles only, so we can't live together. My husband's words made it sound like he didn't want me to come, but maybe it was just my imagination. Since he mentioned the place he'd be living was for singles, I couldn't go with him. I see. But a year is really long. It's just 1 year. If you think about the decades we'll spend together, it's not a big deal. You're right. But even if it's just 1 year, I feel bad making you feel lonely. Of course I'll be lonely, but it's work, so... They shouldn't send a newlywed on a business trip, though. There must be younger or single people who could go. Well, young people nowadays don't want to work in other states. Since someone had to go, I volunteered. I see. But I'll miss you. I'll come back every Sunday. I'll do my best to make sure you don't feel too lonely. Thank you, Trey. I'll try to visit and call as much as I can. As planned, Trey went on his long business trip. This time, the destination was San Francisco, a 3-day drive from where I live. Considering the highway tolls, gas, labor, and time, it seemed difficult to visit frequently. Half a year passed since Trey started his assignment, and my loneliness was about to explode. At my breaking point, I decided to visit him. I immediately got in my car and headed to his apartment. It took longer than I had expected because I took breaks along the way. When I arrived, I went straight to his place. Oh, I can't wait to see him! His apartment was on the 2nd floor, and I climbed the stairs excitedly. Then I saw an unbelievable sight. A woman was leaving his apartment. She walked past me with an innocent face. I quickly rang the doorbell. Who is it? It's me. Huh? Holly? What's up? Just open the stupid door! Trey opened the door, and I stormed into the room to confirm the woman's relationship with them. You could have told me you were coming. Who was that woman just now? What woman? Don't play dumb. I saw her leaving your place. Oh, her. She's an insurance agent. You think I'd believe that? It's true. Believe me. He showed me the insurance policy. Really? I've been telling you it's true. Then why did she come to your place? Today was the renewal date. We had an appointment, but I overslept. So she came all the way to my place. I see. I'm sorry for doubting you. No, it's okay. Anyone would be suspicious if they saw a woman leaving their partner's place. He laughed. Maybe my loneliness had clouded my judgment. Our time together flew by, and before I knew it, I had to leave. It's getting kind of late. Yeah, I should go soon. But I don't want to. We can meet again anytime. I'd be more upset if you stayed here longer and got so tired that you have an accident on the way back. Thanks. I don't want to, but I'll go. With that, I left his place. Only half a year left. That's what I kept telling myself. Time passed, and it was almost a year since my husband had left on his business assignment. I was really looking forward to the day he would return. Then one day, I received a phone call from him. Hello? I have bad news. What's wrong? My work isn't ending as planned, and there's no one to take over for me. They've asked me to continue working here. What? So you can't come back? No, I'm sorry. Well, how much longer do you have to stay? They said it might be another year, as they don't know when it'll end. You want me to wait another year? I can't do that. What should we do then? Maybe I should quit my job and move to where you are. I'd be happy if you did that, but is that okay with you? No, this is not fair. I couldn't help but cry over the phone. I'll try my best to finish as soon as possible. I could only cry. I'm sorry. I miss you too. I feel the same way. Can you wait for me until I come back? Yes, I'll wait for you no matter how long it takes. And then I hung up the phone. In my mind, I thought I understood and accepted the situation. But my emotions couldn't catch up. I was unsure of what to do and continued to worry every day. One day, while working at my part-time job, my boss noticed something was off. You've been down lately. Are you okay? Can you tell? Actually, my husband is on a long business trip and living alone. Didn't you just get married recently? Yes, but it's for work, so there's nothing we can do. How long is this business trip? It's been almost a year, and it seems like it will be extended for another year. I can't seem to process this whole thing emotionally. 2 years is indeed a long time. If you want, I can arrange for you to take a long-term leave. Really? Could you? Of course, you two are newlyweds. You only get to experience that once in your life. In return, you must promise to come back and work for the time you took off, okay? Thank you so much. I'll definitely come back. Take care and have a good trip. My boss smiled kindly at me. Thank you, boss. I immediately took action to go to my husband's side. Since living together wasn't allowed, I decided to look for a place to live near his apartment. To my surprise, there was a vacancy in his building. Moreover, when I looked closely at the real estate information, the vacant room was right next to my husband's. All right, I'll surprise him. I kept my plan to move in next door a secret to surprise my husband. Finally, the move was completed and I couldn't wait for my husband to return. In the evening, I heard the sound of my husband's door closing. I went to his room to surprise him and rang the intercom. Who is it? Instead of my husband's voice, I heard a woman's voice. The door opened and a woman appeared in front of me. How may I help you? I'm Holly. I just moved in next door. Nice to meet you. Oh, hi, thanks. My name is Anne. Nice to meet you too. And then the woman, Anne, smiled and said something unexpected. Would you like to come in? Are you sure? Of course. For some reason, I feel like we've met before. With that, I entered my husband's room. There was a woman in my husband's room. I thought it must be a mistake, but the furniture in the room was what I had chosen before the move. There was no doubt about it. This was indeed my husband's room. My mind went blank, but I desperately continued the conversation. How long have you been living here, Anne? About half a year. Actually, I'm living with my boyfriend and we're getting married soon. Married? Yeah. I quit my job last week to focus on being a full-time housewife. Is that so? Anne talked happily. My husband, who had left me feeling lonely even though we were newlyweds, had a girlfriend who hinted at marriage. I felt miserable and sad. Are you married, Holly? I got married last year, but we haven't been able to be together much because of my husband's business trips. I'm actually envious of you, Anne. Aww. Oh, this is a photo of my boyfriend and me. She showed me the photo, and I wanted to close my eyes. The man next to her was unmistakably Trey, my husband. He had lied to me and was having an affair with Anne. He didn't live with me, his wife, but lived with his affair partner. And she had even quit her job to get married to him. As I thought about it, tears welled up in my eyes. What's wrong? I can't believe it, but this man is my husband. His name is Trey, right? Yes, that's right. What's going on? I explained the situation to her and showed her photos of our dating days and our wedding, which were saved on my smartphone. Of course, polygamy is not allowed in this country. Naturally, it would be impossible for her to marry my husband. Knowing the truth, Anne burst into tears. I can't believe it! Neither can I, but it's all true. I'll check with him, she said, crying and picking up her smartphone. Wait a moment. If you're gonna check, how about doing it like this? I suggested an idea to her. Alright, let's do that. She showed a faint smile and accepted my proposal. So we decided to wait for my husband to return in my room. A few hours later, we heard the sound of a door closing next door. It seemed my husband had returned. I immediately called him. Hello? Is that you, Holly? What's up? Well, I wanted to see you. I'm sorry for always making you feel lonely. I want to see you now. We can't. It's already late at night. Actually, I'm standing right in front of your door. You're joking, right? My words surprised my husband, who fell silent. If you think I'm joking, why don't you open the door and see? The front door opened slowly. Holly, you surprised me. Is it okay for you to be here at this time? It's fine, because I live next door now. What? Yeah. Anyway, let's talk in my room. I led him to my room. Really? When did you start living here? I moved in today. What about your job? The manager gave me a long vacation for my once-in-a-lifetime newlywed life. I'm really grateful for such a kind manager. That's great. We can be together until my business trip is over. I'm glad your manager is so nice. My husband replied, seeming anxious and fidgety. What's wrong? Huh? What do you mean? You've been fidgety since a while ago, and you keep looking at the clock. Do you have some plans or something? No, not really, but I guess I should head home soon. Why? We're married, so it doesn't matter whose room we're in, right? But I can't sleep unless I'm in a familiar environment, and I'm getting hungry too. you won't have any dinner waiting for you when you get home. Well, of course not. I live alone. Are you lying to me? I'm not lying. I only have you. Anne, did you hear that? At my signal, Anne emerged from the back of the room. My husband's eyes widened in shock at the reality of his affair partner being in my room. No way! His face turned pale in an instant. Trey, what is this? This is not what it looks like. What do you mean? Well, I mean, I love Holly. What about the promise to marry me? I was serious about you too, Anne. Are you an idiot? You know that's not acceptable. I love both of you. I never thought you'd be such a jerk. That's it. I'm divorcing you. No, don't. I can't take it anymore either. I never thought you'd be like this. No, he said, slumping to the floor. And that's how my marriage to Trey came to an end. Later, I demanded alimony from my ex-husband. Looking back, I'm glad we didn't have children. Anne wasn't pregnant either, but she had quit her job after getting engaged to Trey. Of course, she also demanded alimony from him. Since my ex didn't have much savings, he had to borrow money to pay us. Now I hear he's struggling to repay his debts. It's a fitting punishment for ruining my newlywed life. As for me, I went back to work as promised with my manager. Since I divorced my husband, I started working full-time instead of part-time. Anne also worked hard to find a new job and managed to secure a position with good conditions. That was a terrible experience, wasn't it? It really was. I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Now I'm going to work you hard to make up for lost time. Be prepared. Oh, go easy on me. Today, like every day, I enjoyed my time working at my favorite job.